All right, the first little tutorial here that we're going to do is a little cloud mixing, or a little cloud pendant. And then I think I may do a little flower kind of arrangement. So to start with, I am doing this cloud. Pardon me while I keep this kitty cat out of here. And I have here my white block that I started working with before. So this little square piece is half of the white block that I provided, and this is half of that square piece. So again, please excuse me as I attempt to keep this kitty cat out of here. I am going to put this back in the bag, and I am going to take even still less than this. I'm going to rip this piece in half. So all told, you're using, let's see, half and then half and then half, so that would be an eighth of the block for this cloud. And clouds on happy, not rainy days are these nice fluffy white colors, but we're making a little bit of a rain cloud, so I'm going to grab a little bit of black to mix in. So in here I have this white, I have this teensy-tiny little bit of black, and this might honestly even end up being too much, but we can always add in a little bit more white if we need to. So I'm going to start off by just smooshing this around, mixing it up between my fingers. And it's going to end up being this kind of swirly white and gray. So as you can see, that changed from that pretty pure snow white to kind of this dingy gray. If you don't want to make it, you know, a rain cloud kind of scenario, you don't have to, but I'm going to. And then I'm going to roll out my little cloud piece. Got that a little bit too thin. Rolling it back between my fingers. So as I'm rolling this, I'm kind of trying to keep it with one flat edge, and then the other two edges can kind of do what they want, because I'm making this into kind of a thunderhead. You know, those big puffy clouds, ones that give you lots of rain. And I have a little kitty hair stuck in here. The typical life of a 4-cat household. So this right here is, I'm going to say about 2 to 3 millimeters thick. And it's pretty tiny. We want these to stay pretty tiny. You can use your paper clip, you can use your toothpick, you can use your fingernails, however you want to make these kind of cloud designs. I am going to kind of pull in and down here and give myself kind of one big puffy cloud piece, and then I think I'm going to do 2 kind of smaller ones down here, and I'm going to kind of encourage this one down, and then I'm going to grab this, hopefully not push it too much back together, and again I'm just trying to encourage this, just gently pushing it. I kind of want this to be the same on both sides, so I'm going to kind of roll over this edge, pull these little puffy cloud bits back in and down. So here we have our kind of cloudy dude. You could do it with 3 little puffs. You could do it with 4. You could do it with 5. It's your cloud. You can make it how you want it. Again, I'm just coming back in with these last little 3D kind of details, touching it up. I want it to look nice and fluffy, even though it's a thunderhead. And I'm going to grab, again, just teensy tiny little bits of blue for my raindrops. So here, I'm going to grab that kind of rice-sized piece that I had talked about before, and I'll do that with my darker blue, I'm going to grab the same amount with my cyan or my lighter blue. You can use whatever colors you like. I'm actually just going to make 3 different shades of blue by combining a little bit of my cyan and my true blue. So I'm going to take off about 1/3 of each of these. So they'll be really, really small. But we're just making tiny little raindrops. So I've got those 2 little guys there. Again, I'm just smashing this polymer between my fingers, rolling it around, smooshing it, mixing it with my fingertips. And I'm going to kind of roll it into a ball. And if I need to use my palm, you might have a better time with it in your palm. And then I'm just going to pinch one end of it so that it makes that teardrop. So one end is round and one end is pointy. And I'm going to do that with both of these other guys too. Roll them up into a little ball. I don't have to spend as much time on these because I'm not mixing them. Now I am going to clean up my hands just a little bit so that I don't get the darker blue on my cyan. Alright, so now I have my 3 shades of blue. And your paper clip or your toothpick, whatever you're using as a pokey object, is going to come in handy here because you're going to pick this up and you're just going to gently poke in 3 little holes along the bottom. And you're going to take your little raindrops, pointy end in, poke them into your little rain cloud. Da-da-da. Now mine aren't super evenly spaced. You might want to make yours more evenly spaced. Mine's just kind of a sad little rain cloud drifting across the skies. I'm going to come back over here on this side because I spent all that time making the other side look all 3D and nice. I'm just drawing a little bit more fluffiness in there. Now, the place for this to attach, you're going to need a hole. You can have a hole up here so that it hangs down from whatever you're putting it on. You could put it on the other side. The key thing to note is that you'll need to leave enough space that it's not going to rip as you try to open it up, but you don't want to leave too much space that whatever jump ring you try to put on it can't fit around it. So our jump rings, as you see in your bag, are these, I think they were like 4 millimeters, right? And that's from edge to edge. And they're not super thick, but you do need to leave enough space for them to be able to fit through it. So I am going to go as close to that edge as I can, which is basically about as far from the edge as the toothpick is wide. And I'm just going to gently twist as I'm pushing it through. Now, on your far side, you're going to end up with this kind of weird little lip where it sticks out. If you use your toothpick and just kind of roll or gently tuck that little lip back in, it'll help keep the hole open, but then you won't have this weird little nugget on the edge, or as I call it in ceramics class, little boogery bits. So you can draw in your design for your clouds. You can leave it flat. It's entirely up to you. If you end up deciding, nope, I think this is awful, it's polymer clay. You can squidge it all back up and start over. Like right here, I didn't really like how that was going, so I kind of smoothed it back out. But here's our goofy little cloud. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just as a reminder, here's the one we made in class. Here we go.